going to try turning on my light.
Okay. Okay, Dawn, let's start letting people in.
I'm gonna turn the light off.
Okay.
That's better. What if we gave a party and nobody came?
There are actually, we have 21 people so far.
Oh, okay.
We're going to run out of refreshments.
We'll forget how to make coffee.
Yeah.
Good morning, Betty.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Pretty blouse, Ellen.
Thank you.
Hey, what am I, chopped liver?
You're lovely. You're lovely too.
Thank you very much.
It's all.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Morning,
morning.
Kay.
Good morning. Hi, Carolyn.
Hi
Good morning, Carolyn.
Good morning. Good participants.
Good morning.
Good morning, fingernails.
Okay, we got just a couple of minutes to go. And good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I am moderating along with Don Shinneman. And when we start in just a couple of minutes, he's going to mute everybody. And so I'll ask you to stay muted during the content of the service. And then when we're done, he will unmute everybody and then we can all talk. Well, think about this. I can put people into what are called meeting rooms. So in other words, gather you in smaller groups to talk to each other. So just think about whether you'd like to do that or not, and I'll poll you when we get done. Because I can do that and then I can undo it pretty easily. All right. And Bruce is good to come in. Don? So is Amanda. So is Yvonne. Okay, and it is 10:30. So, Ellen?
Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Ormond Beach, Florida. My name is Ellen Nielsen, and I will be leading our live streamed worship service today. Today, we will come together in an online version of our annual flower communion. Announcements. We have a donate button linked to PayPal on our website. We want to give folks an opportunity to make smaller offering basket type donations as part of the worship service. In addition, we want to provide an opportunity for visitors to our website to donate if they are so moved. For larger donations or pledge payments, please continue to mail your checks to the congregation UUCOB. There is a fee associated with PayPal, which we'd like to avoid on larger amounts. Thank you for understanding. Remember that every Monday at noon, Reverend Kathy will be on Zoom for a virtual lunch hour talk. We will get to see each other's faces and chat a bit. The link is the same every week and it's on our website. Now Martha will play our prelude. Spirit of life, be present with us in this hour. Join us today as we gather in a wider search for truth and purpose. In this quest, may we greet one another with open hearts and minds. May we inspire each other to consider new questions and deeper meaning. May we cultivate wisdom and compassion. Let all who enter this virtual sanctuary hear a kind word and find comfort in this community. And may all that is done and said here today be in service to love and justice. The words of Kathy Huff. Now we will light our chalice. In times of darkness, we stumble toward the tiny flame. In times of cold, we seek the warming fire. In times of repression, we reach for the lamp of truth. In times of loss, we pray for the comforting light. In times of joy, we light a candle of celebration. Spirit of life, as we kindle this light, help us find what we need this day. And now let us recite together our congregational covenant. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is our aim. To dwell together in peace and freedom, to seek the truth, and to help one another. These are our goals. Now we will sing Spirit of Life, and Martha will play a short introduction and then accompaniments. In our service for reciting joys and concerns, as shared by folks in writing this morning. After I recite them, I will say a prayer, followed by a moment of silence. Today, our joys will be enfolded into the main pulpit presentation, our flower communion. We have two concerns. The first is from Arden and Marilyn Doctor. The last few weeks, our brother-in-law, Marv Berg, has been seriously ill with complications of Alzheimer's and sleep apnea, and he had to be put on a ventilator. It was touch and go for a while, but he has rallied and is being weaned off the vent. Please keep Marv and us in your good thoughts and prayers. And our second concern, very sad news. Walter Dobbins died Thursday, the 16th. Walter has been hospitalized for 9 weeks with heart problems that could not be resolved. He was transferred to hospice, where he died peacefully with Dorothy and family with him. Cards of sympathy are welcome to Dorothy's home address. Spirit of life and love, bless us this day with the understanding that joy and woe are woven fine, that whosoever brings us tears also brings us great joy. that the hours before dawn are often the darkest. Spirit of life and love, bestow upon us the peace which passes our understanding, so that hope, faith, and love may fill our hearts and still our worrying minds, and allow the still small voice deep within to speak and to be heard. All shall be well. All manner of things shall be well. Spirit of life and love, bid us to strive for our best selves each day. Let our striving be for justice, equity, and compassion in our human relations. Inspire us to create beloved community in ever-widening circles of relationship with our fellow humans, Mother Earth, and the biosphere we share with all living things. Spirit of life and love, we give thanks for this precious day and for all that is our life. But we know that our life is a gift, freely given, unbidden and unearned. We give joyous praise for this, our one precious life. Amen. Now Dan will sing.
50 years ago, the first Earth Day was celebrated, and this week, Earth Day fits in quite well with our flower communion, as you can see. So I thought Spirit Running Through was a pretty good song to celebrate both. I feel that spirit running through. It runs through me, it runs through you. And when I breathe that ocean air, I know that spirit's everywhere. It's everywhere. I see a dolphin in the waves. He wants to know how much I gave to make his world a better place for dolphin kind and the human race, the human race. We know it's love that pulls us through, a loving gesturing so true. And when we lend a helping hand, our love will flow throughout the land, throughout the land. I feel that spirit running through. It runs through me, it runs through you. And when I breathe that ocean air, I know that spirit's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Thank you, Dan. During past flower communions, in times of relative security and prosperity, you've heard the story of Norbert Chopek. Today, in a time of fear and danger, we'll listen to it again. Norbert Chopek grew up in Bohemia, an area of the Austria-Hungarian Empire, where Roman Catholicism was the official state religion. He started out as an altar boy, but by age 18, he had started on a long faith journey that led through being a Baptist evangelist to becoming a Unitarian minister. The accounts of his life indicate that he was an original thinker with a questioning mind and an inspiring and dynamic religious leader. During the early years of the 20th century, Chopek became a strong proponent of religious freedom and got in trouble with the government of Austria-Hungary. Just before World War I broke out, he moved to the United States, where he served for 5 years as a Baptist minister in New York City and New Jersey, before leaving the Baptist Church in 1919. By 1921, he and his family had joined a Unitarian church in Orange, New Jersey. After World War I, Czechoslovakia became an independent country, and the Čapeks decided to return to their native land. There they spent the next 20 years building a countrywide Unitarian movement that included schools and counseling programs as well as churches. By 1940, the Unitarian Church in Prague was the largest Unitarian congregation in the world. The vigor and enthusiasm of the Unitarians in Czechoslovakia did not escape the attention of the Nazis when they invaded that country at the beginning of World War II. At the age of 71, still engaged in his life's work, still undaunted, Norbert Čapek was arrested by the Gestapo and charged with treason. He was sent to Dachau, where he was killed in October 1942. Back in 1923, because so many of his congregation had once been Roman Catholics, Norbert Čapek decided to create a communion service that was different from the traditional bread and wine ritual, and which celebrated spring and the unfolding of new life. Each person was asked to bring a flower, which was placed in the communion vase at the beginning of the service. Later, each person was asked to choose and carry home a different flower brought by someone else. Today, because it's not possible for us to meet together in one physical space, members of the congregation have been asked to send verbal flowers, short messages sharing comfort and hope in this difficult time. These messages have been gathered together in a virtual bouquet, which will now be read aloud. As I read each person's contribution, try to see that person's beautiful face in your mind's eye. Remember that although we can't be together physically, we are together in spirit, perhaps now more than ever. We are in communion. Virt's flower is from Marge Dash. I would have to say that staying in touch with friends and family is what is holding me together. UU especially has been a welcome connection. A special treat has been Tracy Taylor's grocery shopping for me. Thanks so much to him for his thoughtfulness. Phone calls and texts have kept me happy. My children have shown their concern and caring, and I love pictures of great-granddaughter Eva. So this is my flower and my love to all. Here's a flower from Reverend Kathy. My flower is my lanai on my back porch. It is my refuge from the worries of the day. Last night, I sat on the lanai under a full moon and listened to the night sounds. It was cool and breezy and peaceful. The green belt behind my house is full of nocturnal critters that chirp, peep, and rustle gently among the palmettos. I try to distinguish the sounds, and this gives me the peace which comes with being in the present moment. My lanai is a portal to the eternal now. I'm grateful. I wish for everyone a time each day for being in the now. Mary Lou McKamey sent this flower. On the day Joan Thate had a reception for friends, I approached with very mixed feelings, sad to be seeing Joan for probably the last time. due to such distance, but I was happy to see her smile and expressive eyes. We lunched nearly every week, shared confidences, and admitted to getting the giggles like two kids. When I left, we shared feelings of sisterly love and agreed to say, "See you soon," rather than goodbye. I will carry the memories of our sharing close to my heart forever. Terry Kolaska. Taking photos of our spring flower garden has created a calm among our household. Another thing that has helped me is my meditation twice a day. Spending time with Ed has definitely helped me. I am so blessed. These times are difficult for sure, but being at home has always been one of my favorite pastimes. Be well and stay healthy. Dan Gribben. For me, the delight has been to keep my guitar in open G tuning and to practice the 4 or 5 songs that I love that can be played to good effect in that open tuning. They include Jamaica Farewell, Yellowbird, Lily of Bermuda, which is one of my original songs, and Crocodile Man, especially with the latter song. By playing day by day, I get smoother on riffs that are difficult for me. I hope to share these songs at our next live UU Cafe. Carolyn West has sent us a poem by Wendell Berry called The Peace of Wild Things. You can find this in our hymn book, by the way. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free. Marilyn Sapsford. As an introvert, usually surrounded by extroverts, I've spent my life fitting in with their way of doing things. Now it feels refreshing to focus on spending quiet time alone. There is plenty of time to enrich the inner life by reading spiritual classics, delving more into the mystical branch of Hinduism, meditating, and listening to talks by great spiritual teachers. In fact, there are many such talks, usually costly, offered free of charge. Also, there are meetings on Zoom led by enlightened teachers, which are normally offered only in seminars overseas. In the comfort of my living room and in my 70s, I can finally shine as an introvert. Betty Green. One of the wonderful things I have experienced during this traumatic period in the present moment of our lives is the strong conviction of fellowship and caring and checking up on our members. This is all done with love and compassion for one another. This is indeed the UU spirit of believing in the principles of being part of the independent web of life. Thank you to everyone. Now, go out and find a beautiful flower to admire. Hugs to all from Betty. Terry Terranera. My daughters, Julie and Lisa, are both nurses, and they are determined to keep me safe. They have been calling me daily and visiting me often. They make sure that I have what I need from the store, so I don't need to go myself. Because of their loving care, I feel more comfortable and less lonely. I've missed all my friends in the UU and the discussion group, and I look forward to getting back in touch during the online services. Marilyn and Arden Doctor. We've been making soup and sharing it with friends. They in turn have brought us food to share. It helps to keep the connection. Betsy fails. Betsy sent us several inspiring quotations. I picked this one by Harriet Beecher Stowe. When you get into a tight place and everything goes against you till it seems as though you could not hold on a minute longer, never give up then, for that is just the place and time that the tide will turn. And Betsy's daughter Jennifer sent this one. You never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. This is from Gail and Kirtland Davies. We have lived in this house for over 3 years and never met our next door neighbors. We waved now and then, but mostly we all drove into our garages and closed the door. Last week, Kirtland decided to fill their bird feeder when he filled ours. The young woman came out to thank him. Valerie had a 2.5-year-old Pierre with her, and Kirtland spoke with them from their yard. He learned that their dad, Tody, is still working as a physical therapist. Valerie, a computer company employee, is working from home. They have no family in the area. On Saturday, I hid candy Easter eggs in our yard and taped an invitation to their door. They all came out and hunted eggs while I took pictures and a video from our porch. We talked and learned more about each other, including that it was my 76th birthday. Valerie and I began to text. On Easter, there was a vase with a yellow tulip and a thank you note, happy birthday card on our doorstep. We are watching the birds together from our separate yards. A Soul Matters friend from another UU has called this the great confinement. It is not all bad. Some sweet new things are coming into our lives because of it. Jenny Nazak. My flower is to practice surrendering to the present moment. By dropping my resistance and just experiencing what is, I feel deeply alive and joyful. Also, I set up a free seed station, and it brings me great joy to see people walk by and pick up vegetable seeds and wildflower seeds. Lee Montgomery and Harry White. Lee and Harry sent me a photo of a pineapple plant in their backyard. They say, we love its bright, vibrant colors. It blooms every April. Kathy Jackson. My silver lining is allowing myself to have talks on the phone with anyone so inclined, not rushing off to get back to other tasks. There's plenty of time for everything. Just a little brainstorming provides ample ideas for valuable projects to tackle during these times at home, like technology updates. I've been watching the flowers bloom and loved listening to the rain Wednesday night. Cliff Jackson. The flower that I would share is from a song by Friction Farm. They came here last year. The song is, There Will Always Be. One of the stanzas is, there will always be angels in our midst. Every time the news shows someone who puts their life on the line for all of us, I see an angel in our midst. Ellen Nielsen. I've always been comfortable with being alone, and I've had more time to read and more time to write poetry. But I've also spent more time online, keeping in touch with the friends I can't see face to face. It's been a blessing to attend our Sunday services online and to maintain my connection with all of you. Steve Estabrook shares a few lines from The Touch of the Master's Hand by Myra Brooks Welch as a source of inspiration and grounding. And many a man with life out of tune, all battered and bruised with hardship, is auctioned cheap to a thoughtless crowd, much like that old violin. A mess of pottage, a glass of wine, a game, and he travels on. He's going once, he's going twice, he's going and almost gone. But the master comes, and the foolish crowd never can quite understand the worth of his soul and the change that is wrought by the touch of the master's hand. And Ludi Goodson shared a message from her friend Mary Marino Strong. Ludi, I thought of you when a poet read from her shelter poems about women in a shelter. Something in the tone, in the ability to capture an essence, reminded me of your collection of writings about the wonderful women you memorialized. While I don't remember your words, I remember the feelings and images that came to me as you read, as well as a sense of the women. It was beautiful work, and I wonder if you completed it. And your book? These words have inspired me to go forth with my writing, but more so to see how our sharing makes such a big difference in our lives across the miles and time that passes. I'm going to close our communion with a poem sent by Debbie Thompson, which was written in 1869 by Kathleen O'Mara. And people stayed at home and read books and listened. They rested and did exercises and made art and played and learned new ways of being and stopped and listened more deeply. Someone meditated, someone prayed, someone met their shadow. And people began to think differently, and people healed. And in the absence of people who lived in ignorant ways, dangerous, meaningless, and heartless, the earth began to heal. And when the danger ended and people found themselves, they grieved for the dead and made new choices and dreamed of new visions and created new ways of living and completely healed the earth just as they were healed. This was reprinted during the Spanish flu pandemic in 1919. Our ancestors survived that, and we will survive this. May it be so. Today, this is a Share the Plate Sunday. It's the third Sunday. And today our offering will be shared with the COVID-19 emergency appeal from the Jerry Dolliner Food Bank, which is right here in Ormond Beach, and which is administered by the Jewish Federation of Volusia and Flagler County. Here's a cry for help from their website. Due to COVID-19, more and more people are calling the Jerry Dolliner Food Bank for assistance. Many are families with kids, and the parents are in dire straits. These are waitresses, bartenders, and other hourly workers who have lost their jobs and have never called the food bank for help before. The number of requests is more than we have ever seen, even more than during the Great Recession of 2007-2009. To make matters more difficult, We no longer can buy food at area supermarkets where we used to shop for the best sales. Now these stores are limiting sales per customer. High demand for food. We have had to turn to other suppliers to meet our needs. And now we are paying as much as 3 times more. We're exhausting our funds. We need all the help we can get. To help, please mail a check to UUCOB or use our PayPal button. UUCOB's address is 56 North Halifax Drive, Morgan Beach, Florida, 32176. Make the check out to UUCOB and write "Share the Plate" on the memo line. Your donation will be split between UUCOB and the food bank. Thank you. Now it's time to extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our heart until we are together again. Martha will now play our postlude.
Wonderful.
Forgot the benediction. Have a benediction.
I'll be using the thing and I have a mask on. Okay, honey. You can call in and order at Walmart and we go pick up.
Hello, folks. We are not done yet. We are not done yet. We have a benediction. So can you please go back to mute for just a few more minutes. Thank you.
The benediction we'll use today is taken from It is worthwhile to live and fight courageously for sacred ideals. Oh, blow ye winds, ye evil winds, into my body's fire. My soul you'll never unravel, even though disappointed 1,000 times or fallen in the fight. Even when everything seems worthless, I have lived amidst eternity. Be grateful, my soul. My life was worth living. Norbert Chopek. Go in peace. And now you can talk.
Thank you, Ellen. And we can unmute everybody now.
Go ahead, do your thing.
No.
Thank you.
Hey, there we are. Hey, Donnie. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for the beautiful service.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was great.
There we are. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen. That was nice. Thanks. We're getting better every week.
Thumb down.
It's really beautiful. A lot of work went to that.
Yes, it did.
Elections.
Thank you, Reverend Kathy. You did a lot of the work.
Flowers are gorgeous.
Sound quality is much better.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Uh,
Hello, Dorothy. Good to see you.
We have to press it.
It was good to see Phil up and about.
Yes, that is wonderful.
Really good.
Hey, you look great, Phil.
Can we get some screen sharing, maybe?
Yep.
So we can see people's faces.
So, what do you mean?
Well, I'm only seeing Dan and the piano.
So try to go to gallery view.
Where to find that?
Where is that?
So
Yeah, hit the plus on the bottom picture.
Oh, great.
Hit the what?
Plus on the square on the bottom upper left.
Left upper right is speaker
Saw
view.
that, Kirtland.
Yeah, mine's on the right.
Oh, there we
No,
go.
I'm talking about the little square at the bottom right of your screen. Then you hit the
hello.
plus.
And then you leave the meeting.
Oh, Linda,
now
I
I'm
can
seeing
do
people. Now I'm seeing people. Hi, Scott.
Don't press leave.
I just expanded my cluster of pictures across the screen so that I could see more.
Right.
Still not everybody, but it's a lot.
Well, you can slide them along.
Here we go.
Arrow. Oh, thank you. I see the kitty now, Amanda.
My kitty's here too, but off screen.
She was crawling all over me. I had to turn the video off.
Oh, that was bad. She's so pretty.
Oh.
So right, you ought to be
It's my cat up on top of the bookcase.
We had 3 of us watching today, and we enjoyed your service.
Good, thank you.
I don't know how to put my video back on.
Let me turn to the side.
My kitty says hi.
Oh, wow.
Cute. Oh, so cute.
Kathy, you did such a wonderful
like
job.
that. I'd be smiling like that too,
How do we
Linda.
get the video on?
Dorothy
Just camera shy.
How do we get the video on? Well, there should be. Do you see a icon of a video camera with a line through it anywhere on your screen? Wave your cursor over all the places on your screen.
Where there's a little blue box with 3 dots on it.
Oh, it's up the top. It's up the top.
Hey, we can see you, Bruce.
Yes.
Bruce.
I
Yes.
just found,
Good
I
job.
found the video.
You're on. You're on.
Yeah.
Yay.
Now, folks, do you all want to go? Do you want to go into breakout rooms where you be with 5 or 6 other people? Thing so we can see somebody. Just give me a thumbs up if you do. If not, we can just leave it like this. Breakout rooms? Yes or no?
Mosh pit.
Mosh pit? You want to leave?
We have to have a discussion about that.
Yeah, we do. All right, I'm going to leave it like it is. You guys seem to want to be together, so that's fine.
Great to see you.
Okay, we want to know how you're doing without golf.
Well, believe it or not, I can play golf. We have sanitized carts, and you have one person in a cart, and so it's still happening.
I have to say, I'm glad to see Phil is there in his house. Is that right? You're home from the hospital. Yay.
Well, we can't see anything.
There he is.
There you
He
go.
looks,
Help you before.
you're looking good.
There's no,
Phil's audio is very quiet.
Yeah.
You look good, Phil.
Hey, that knows that I can see that real quick.
Let's see.
Jenny.
Quiet.
We're good to see her.
We see you, Barbara. Hi, everybody.
Oh, good.
I see your
now I can see people.
Sherman. Hey, what's up? Hi, Scott.
see the cat.
It looks like the pandemic has finally got
to pay a little attention to the environment. Yay.
Yay.